1 minute.
Hi, this is Eric Mumford. I'm with the Worldwide Supply Chain Federation, affiliated with Refashion Ventures here in New York City, and we're going live in 1 minute.
Yeah, my name is Anina. I'm the CEO and founder of 360 Fashion Network, and we are going live in 1 minute. Initiating stream on Runway the Real Way. We've got now connecting to International Designers Network, 360 Fashion, LuxLock, Switch Embassy, Allison Lewis, Ozone. We've got 360 Fashion Twitter, and we've got Anina.net and 360 Fashion Facebook page. So, Eric, you have the floor.
Yes, so we just wanted to add one additional takeaway from our previous live stream, and it's just really a call to action for Made in USA manufacturing for PPEs right now. These are the personal protective equipment that are used in hospitals and care centers to protect our nurses and doctors from the COVID-19 virus. And that is a shortage that has been happening in this country down of the supply chains. Some of that is now coming back together, but over the last few weeks, we've had wonderful grassroots organizations step up and help connect donations and existing supply to the demand. But one of the things that we are also doing is mobilizing Made in USA manufacturing right now. So as much as we definitely want to bring in all of that supply, that's wonderful. And we're setting up to have the process, as we said previously, to be able to take large POs and connect hospitals with that vetted supply overseas. But the makers here in the US, so factories here in the New York area, for example, when everybody shut down the production process, they laid off all their workers. They're operating on razor thin margins. Many of them sent workers home with individual sewing machines so that perhaps they could repurpose themselves for efforts like this and make some money and survive, or continue to produce some things for that factory and make some money and survive. So part of what we're doing is really helping put these people back to work. One of the challenges is some of these factories in various states, if they don't have a government or a military contract, they're not considered essential. But we consider this essential. And being able to have this infrastructure that we already have repurposed to make PPEs is an amazing opportunity for us to keep people going during this crisis, keep them paid, keep them eating well, keep them healthy, and protect our healthcare workers and save lives at the same time. So if you can help us in terms of funding, if you can help us with donations, if you can help us with getting local government approvals, that's amazing, so that we can have Made in USA manufacturing for PPEs and put people back to work. So thank you so much, Anina, for allowing us to get this message out, because we think it's so important that this challenge, this crisis, is not going away overnight. And we're going to see continued periodic disruption of the supply chain, we believe. And so having this resilient, localized infrastructure in place will ensure that there's no gaps while helping our workers at the same time.
So we've got some links on the screen for how you can connect up if you have resources, if you want to help fund this initiative. Eric was saying that although we have a lot of startups that are giving resources, that can't last forever. Could you just talk a little bit about that, Eric, in terms of funding if people want to support financially?
Sure. So there's in the Worldwide Supply Chain Federation ecosystem, we have about 3,000 plus members globally, but a lot of these members are innovators. These are earlier stage, growth stage startups that have stood up with us in this movement and offering their services, offering their technology. These are companies like Enabled, NABLD, also known as 19th Amendment. They're stood up the PLM and the ERP and the tech packs for the alternative PPEs, and mobilizing individual sewers around the country and their factory network. But they're also operating really thin right now and going through their cash reserves. We have textile partners like Fabrics.com that are donating textiles, but that is not necessarily going to last forever as well. We've got logistics partners that are providing technology to connect the hundreds of thousands of trucks across the country with these supply lines that we've set up and deliver that to the demand sources. These are entities that also, these are startups, right? And these are drivers that also need to survive and pay for their time and feed their families. So all of the various nodes that are a part of this process to make this end-to-end supply chain work, and all of the workers that are basically walked away from their jobs to help make this real. Everybody's challenged right now. So the more that we can support the Made in USA initiative, the more that everyone will be viable, and then this will be a resilient supply chain that will continue, and we won't have this problem in the future. And if something like this does happen again, it's really easy to just keep workers working because the foundation is in place, the process is in place. So, again, thank you for allowing us to put out this call to action. We think it's so important right now. It's kind of emotional because we talk to so many people that are struggling, and so this is going to help.
Wonderful. So just want to do our part to help, and the links are on the screen. Also, I'll in about an hour I'll program up the chat bot in case you didn't get the links. You can just go to our 360 Fashion chat bot, and we'll just have the links for you right there. And just really want to thank you so much for doing this. My family are in the United States, and I care very much about many friends over there, and so I really want to do my part. Even though I'm in China, at least I can do the large-scale manufacturing and help you connect up to vetted factories and not have middlemen and all of that calamity. But I totally believe and support in creating the local workers to be able to jump in on this. And especially Eric mentioned the factories in Los Angeles and in New York that are considered not essential. What can we do about that? Is that a matter of calling your local congressperson? Is that a matter of how do we take action to get them to be essential?
Good question. So there are groups that are also doing some similar things. There's a group called StrikeLabs.io. These are a bunch of ex-military guys and patriots that are really trying to help, but they're doing some similar work that we are, but they're focused on the military and the government and working together to orchestrate those efforts. And so these guys are really connected with local governments and can help in that regard. So, perhaps some of those types of movements can help overcome this challenge. But I think as individuals, I think absolutely, reach out to your Congress people, your governors, and say, hey, this is our Rosie the Riveter opportunity, right? In terms of mobilizing to save lives. And the more that our local governments know that these factories are capable and willing to produce PPEs, I think that they will very quickly deem them essential. Whereas today, it's kind of like the standard operating model is if you don't have a military contract or government DoD type contract as a factory, you're not considered essential and you can't stay open. So these are things that we're overcoming all in real time. And then, of course, local approvals at EDC type levels, economic development councils in the individual states to make sure that the Supply Chain Federation and this entire orchestration can be accepted as a supplier, right? So hospitals can cut POs, and partners like the Jor Network, who are fantastic and offering up their platform. They're making a microsite where hospitals can go one place. So they, because hospital procurement is very bureaucratic. There's lots of red tape. It's challenging for them, right? And when we talk to these professionals, you can hear the stress. And so everything that we're doing, we're trying to make it easier. So again, thank you for letting us get this message out. We think that all of this will be fully operationalized within a week. And then everything that this community that's watching can do in terms of donations, in terms of, potentially connecting us with funding sources for the operation, and helping with the Made in USA, providing supply sources like yourself, Anina. Like, it's amazing all the connections that you have in China that you can connect into this network also. So it's all coming together. It's really beautiful to see. I've actually working harder during this COVID crisis and not watching Netflix, but it's fun, right? We all feel like we're helping, and it's nice to feel that you can help. So anyone who wants to get involved at those different levels that we talked about, I promise you'll feel the same way.
And as Allison mentioned, this is a great opportunity if you do call and you do volunteer and you do help to learn some amazing skills about, how this all works from the back end, which can only help you if you are in the fashion industry. So, not everything is really about, work. It's actually about gaining the skills for the next phase after this. And, instead of watching Netflix, you can also join us over at the Digital Fashion Online Conference, and you can pick up some new skills that will help you also. So thank you so much for being here. I got a jet over there. I got a speech now live, and I'm just happy to give you the floor and do whatever I can to help my fellow Americans and you and your organization. And the amazing, Casey Golden, who is a speaker at the Digital Fashion Online Conference, and it's all because of her that, we got connected up, and I'm sure there's lots of other people. Thank you for being here, Eric.
Yeah, Casey's amazing. I just want to give a final shout to a few organizations that are working with us: Masks for Docs, HelpHospitals.io, DistributeAid.org. If I'm missing some of you that are part of the Supply Chain Federation ecosystem that have stood up, I apologize. It's been a long couple of days, but thank you to all of you, Enabled, Jor, the brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Citizens of Humanity, and others that are helping as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you mentioned also Tommy Hilfiger and some brands, and there was also one that was giving fabrics.
Yeah, Fabrics.com. That's right, Fabrics.com. Through Amazon, they have been tremendous to support Enabled and just make this happen. And because of that, from Fabrics.com, Enabled was able to get out 500,000 alternative masks just this past week. So it's pretty amazing.
Thank you so much, and get connected, guys. The links are on the screen. And join the team.